Hello everyone, welcome back to codingscientist.com. So you are watching Hacking Raspberry Pi, one of a kind of series where you are going to learn anything to everything about Raspberry Pi single board computer from ground zero to a pretty advanced level of getting into the GPIO pins, building AI applications and building IoT applications and stuff like that. So in the previous lesson, I hope you did download the Raspberry Pi Imager software and it's ready installed on your Windows machine. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to copy which OS to select. That's the most critical part because many people go with new out of box software, which is noobs, which is called noobs, right? And it's a what you may call it as a pretty easy to use, but you need to have some fundamental knowledge on Raspberry Pi operating system, especially on the Linux part of the world, right? However, for beginners like you, right, for my viewers, it's very important to make it more GUI and US and user friendly. It's very important. So I'm going to show you the right set of operating system. There are ton loads of versions available. And you need to pick up the right one to make sure that your Raspberry Pi works flawless. So let's move on. So what we need to do, you have to, I hope you are ready with Raspberry Pi and the camera. You will need a power adapter, so which basically comes with Raspberry Pi when you buy it as a kit, but you can pick it up separately for through Amazon or something like that. Make sure that you have this kind of port, which is type C USB port, which is your power to power up your Raspberry Pi. And the way you are going to fix it, this is the pin. This is where you are going to hook up your power adapter. You just have to press it and leave it. So now I'm not going to connect anyway, so I'm just going to show you the power adapter, which is important. I highly recommend go with the Raspberry Pi brand itself. If you can see here, this is the Raspberry Pi brand. It's very important because this is of very high quality. You may go for other options as well to power up 5 amp stuff. This is basically the output is 5.1 volt with 3 ampere. But however, for on all safer side of your Raspberry Pi, it's very important to go with a high quality stuff, right? Now quickly what you need to do is pick up your SD card. So I have a 64 GB SD card. You may go for 64 GB as well. You can use 16 GB or 32 GB, but since this particular series we are going to cover ton loads of projects including artificial intelligence and several other things, we need to have a lot of space. So go ahead with 64 GB and pick up the SD card writer, which is like this, which I showed you in the previous video. Go ahead and insert like this, okay? And then what you need to do, you need to plug this section of the SD card writer, which looks like a USB female port. You need to connect this to your laptop USB port in your Windows laptop. All right, in your Windows laptop, guys, do not get confused. Let me make it very clear, right? So this SD card, once you insert, this has to go into your Windows machine, not the Raspberry Pi. Do not put this into your Raspberry Pi. I had seen people getting confused and put the SD card and put it in one of the USB ports here. No, that's wrong. So go ahead and plug this into your Windows machine. So let me just show you. Once you plug into the Windows machine, and then what you need to do, you need to now, let me just show you, open the Raspberry Pi Imager. Why am I not able to? Just give me a second, guys. looks like there is just give me a minute. All right, so I'm going to show you how to now open up your, make sure that you are connected, you have hooked up your SD card and your USB port is connected with that, your Windows machine. Now let me just open up my system, and then what we need to do, just type Raspberry Pi Imager. So this is the logo you are going to see once you do the installation of Raspberry Pi Imager, which you saw in the previous video, right? So open it up. It's going to say yes. All right. And then here you can see this beautiful little screen. All right. In this, what you need to do, once you open up the Imager application, choose OS. Click here, choose OS. Here you can see there are loads of utility tools and stuff like that, and the top one is Raspberry Pi OS for 32-bit, right, which is a recommended desktop, and there is also Raspberry Pi other. Just click on this, okay, and then here you can see Raspberry Pi OS Lite, and then a Raspberry Pi OS full, which is again 32-bit. A port of Debian Bullseye with desktop environment and recommended application. You can also try with 64-bit, but there is a bit of trick involved, so I will show you later on when we upgrade our OS. That's a pretty advanced level. So for now, what you can do is, let me just show you once again. Click choose OS, go back. Let me show you from the beginning. All right, just open Raspberry Pi Imager. In the window at the bottom, you need to type RASP. You will just immediately find this, right? Raspberry Pi Imager. Click yes. And then you will get this happy little window with a Raspberry, and then choose OS. In OS, here you need to click this other Raspberry Pi OS based images, the second one. All right, click here and then go to the second one, not the first one. Go to the second one, Raspberry Pi OS full 32-bit, right? A port of Debian Bullseye with desktop environment and recommended application. Click on this. Now once you click, you can see here in the OS, now choose storage. Once you click choose storage, you can see my USB devices. I have multiple stuffs connected, but you need to pick this one, mass storage device USB 63.9 GB. It's actually 64 GB. So if you are using 64 GB, it should show like this, right? I am clicking yes, and then you need to click right. So I have already written the OS, so I am not going to click this. Okay, so this is going to take at least about somewhere between 40 to 45 minutes, guys. So I am not going to record this entire video while the OS is getting copied. So you guys go ahead and click this right. Do not interrupt. Make sure that you are sitting in front of the system, because sometimes it might show up some errors, or it might show up certain things which you might have to click OK for that. Okay, so be in the system. Be patient. It's going to take about 45 minutes easily. So go ahead and finish this exercise. Make sure the OS is completely copied till it says success in the right in the corner here of this particular application. You will see successfully copied. So till that time you have to be patient. It's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour. So make sure that this has been done, and in case if you get stuck with different kind of errors, do leave a message, reach out to me. You have my WhatsApp support line, and I will help you guide systematically. See you soon in the next lesson. Goodbye.